Hi folks, and Camila Folcha. It doesn't really matter what type of bike you ride, we all love to put accessories on our bikes. But the question is, should I pay full price for the name brand, or should I go to some of the budget sites and save me quite a bit of money? So in this video, I'm going to break it all down, give you some facts, my own opinions, and then you can make your own decisions. Let's check it out. To get things started, the first thing that we need to do is to break the old school way of thinking, which is if it is made in China, it's poor quality, right? That could have been true 30, 40 years ago, right? But nowadays, most things are actually made in China and they're actually excellent quality. That doesn't necessarily apply for the budget sites, right? But having said all that, the whole purpose of this video is to kind of dig down, look at the facts and see how they actually can achieve those cheap prices and if the quality is affected or not. Of course, when I say budget sites, I mean AliExpress, Temu, all that kind of jazz, you know, there's a few more, Shein, whatever, right? Any of those sites actually use the exact same strategy on how to actually cut the prices down. One of the first things that they do is cutting the middleman. And normally on a traditional supply chain process, right, you have the factory sending to the brand sends to local distributors, then local shops, etc., right? And each one of those steps, they have their own percentages. So the budget sites, what they do is from the factory straight to you, no middleman, right? Nothing in between, straight out of the bat. You can imagine all those percentages, all those increases, right, throughout that supply chain process. That's all savings that get straight to your pocket, which again is something that sites like Amazon or eBay, which are considered more legit, if you will, which is exactly the same thing, which they already cut a little bit of that supply chain process where the company is selling directly to you without going through a physical local shop. Besides the whole supply chain, there's another huge cost that the known brands have to take on, which is R&D, research and development, right? Where they spend a lot of time and money actually developing, right, and creating whatever part you're buying, right, doing the testing, making sure that it fits correctly, all the molds, etc., right? So once they have that completely done and designed, they would normally send it out to a factory in China to be mass produced. So then the factory in China will have a contract to produce, say, 10,000 units, right? Whatever the number is, but they have to fulfill that contract. So then the factory in China do spend a little bit of money making sure that they have that production line, right, between molds, CNC machines, the processes, whatever it is, right? But they have that process completely set up. Now, what they do is something that is called shared tooling, right? So once they're done fulfilling that contract for, again, the 10,000 units, then they already have that production line set up. So then what they do is they keep producing the same exact part, right? But of course, they already saved a ton of money by not doing that R&D, right? So again, those are margins that they don't have to put on top of the product to recoup all that money. So I know what you're thinking. If it is the exact same part, made on the exact same factory, but at a fraction of the price, why wouldn't you buy it, right? So if you think about it, it almost comes down to an ethical question, right? The same thing as they say, oh, you should buy local, you should support the local businesses. Well, yes, on one side it's all well and good, but also it could be a matter of convenience, a matter of just saving money, right? Because you can order online from your home, you don't have to move, you get it shipped to your home. If there's an issue, you just return it, right? That kind of stuff. But the cost savings can also go a little bit further, more than supply chain and R&D. There's also things like certifications and quality checks that companies do have to spend quite a bit of money to have a product certified, say TUV or whatever the certification is. Companies can actually ask the factories in China to have and maintain a certain level of quality, right? Making the whole process longer and of course being more expensive. So whenever the factories sell it directly to you, they can actually go out and skip those quality processes. So even if they skip some quality checks here and there, they could end up with a pretty good quality product anyways. But they could also change the raw materials that they actually use to produce that part. Let's say anything that is metal, they can use a lower grade of alloy, or if it is something made out of plastic, for example, they can use less material into the molds, right, to actually save costs. So there's a lot of things that can actually affect the quality of the product that you're buying, right? And this is, again, the whole debate. They can actually produce something extremely good quality and save some money, again, supply chain and R&D, but they could also cut the cost even more by using poor quality materials. So that's where it gets a little bit more complicated, and you have to be careful on what you decide to actually save money on. So those are all the facts on how they actually achieve those lower prices, right? Again, R&D, supply chain, and in some cases quality, right? I'm not saying that all products are bad, but then how do you know? And now we have a few things to consider, and that's where we enter the whole opinion territory, right? So should I go with the ethical route and buy from the known brand, right? Because they are the ones that spend all the money in the research and development and do all that, right? The whole, buy local type of mentality. Or should I make sure that I go with that no brand, pay a little bit extra, and make sure that I know I have that assurance on quality, after sales, etc., 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 right? All the things that a known brand will actually offer you. And that's absolutely fine, right? And that would be the almost guarantee way to have a good quality product that you know that even if it fails, because every product can actually fail. So it's not a guarantee, but you're most likely to have after the fact support, and you can have a company that actually supports you and sells you a good product. So of course, the natural reaction is, oh, you should go out and definitely spend more money. On the other side of the coin, you can go to the budget sites, buy that product at a fraction of the price, save yourself a fortune, and then have that little bit of a risk if it's going to be a good quality product or not. Also, the other thing to have in mind is that if the product is not what you expected, or if it failed for whatever reason, it might be a chance that if you go back to that site 2 months later, 3 months later, that company that sold you that product might no longer exist, right? And that's something that they do all the time. It's the factory that have that extra run, like I mentioned before. They sell that product, they have that shared tooling process, right? And then after that, they're done, they change to something else, and that company or that name, that seller, is gone, and you cannot longer find them, right? So if the thing fails, or if the quality is not what you expected, you might not be able to get support after the fact. So with all those facts, now hopefully you can make a more informed decision on if you should go out to the budget sites, save yourself a ton of money, or just pay a little bit more extra and buy from the known brands. And for me, it depends, right? There's a few things that I will definitely go to the budget sites, and there's a few things that I will never ever go to the budget sites. My rule of thumb is that if there's anything related to safety, I will always go with a known brand and spend a little bit more extra. If it is something that is just an accessory, something for looks, or something that doesn't have anything to do with safety, then yeah, I might go out and try to save me a few bucks with the budget site. But let me show you a few examples so you know exactly what I mean. So for example, the lens protector is just a bit of plastic, polycarbonate, call it whatever, right? Should I spend a fortune on a known brand? In my opinion, no. I bought that from AliExpress, it's cheap enough. All I needed to do is to protect my light once from a rock chip or anything like that, right? That's all I needed to do. And then it's cheap enough to go out and replace it. Again, another example, this little bit of a plastic that I don't know if I like it or not, I just left it there, right? It kind of looks cool, it gives it a little bit more of an angle. I will never buy that from a known brand and spend a fortune on it. It's just a little bit of plastic, right? It does absolutely nothing. Bar racers. This is a very common accessory for any adventure bike rider, and this is something that I will never, ever buy from a budget site. If this is made out of a poor quality alloy or anything like that, it can actually kill you. Think about it. It actually holds your bars to the bike. If that fails, you're dead, basically, right? So how can you actually go out and cheap out on one of these? That, to me, makes absolutely no sense, and you should never, ever buy from AliExpress. Again, they could have a good quality product and everything, but would you risk it? Would you take a chance to save a few bucks on this? I wouldn't, and you shouldn't. But again, it's up to you. Another accessory that is very common is fenders, and very common, right, to have a piece of plastic, right? There's nothing consequential and everything. So yeah, in some cases you can actually buy them from a cheap site and they should be okay. In this case though, on the GS, if you look at where they mount, they actually share a bolt with the brake caliper. So have that in mind too, right? Usually you can have the piece of plastic that is all good. If that's cheap, that's fine, but then make sure that you double check on the hardware that they send. This, it's actually pretty critical, right? It's holding the brakes to the final drive. So that is actually a critical part, and that could involve safety. So have that in mind when you're actually thinking about something like this. See where they mount. And yes, in some cases they do reuse the factory bolts, but in some cases like this, they add a new bracket. So those are things that you should definitely consider, right? This is another good example, and something that a lot of people ask me about it on the comments to see what this is. This is actually like a protector. It keeps your leg from getting all muddy and wet, right, from all the trash that comes out of the tires. When I bought this bike secondhand, it came installed. This is a Vanderleek product, right? So I would imagine that it's not very cheap. And if it was up to me, I will definitely buy that from a cheap site, right? It's just a thin piece of metal, right? I don't think this is anything consequential. It does mount with this using the original hardware. I wouldn't spend the extra money on this on a known brand if it was up to me, right? Another thing that could be a little bit borderline between safety or not is the levers, right? A lot of people buy the shorty levers from the budget sites, and yeah, I don't know, right? It won't kill you if it fails. It could be very inconvenient if you don't have a clutch or if you don't have a brake, right? Yeah, sure, you always have the rear brake, right, to get you home, and there are things that you can do to kind of bypass the clutch, especially on these bikes with quick shifter. But again, you know, it's one of those things. Should you spend a fortune on levers? There are some brands that are asking absolutely astronomical money. I probably wouldn't go that far, but I probably wouldn't go dirt cheap either. Fender extenders, another great example. This is just a piece of plastic, right? There's nothing consequential to it. I will definitely go with the budget side if it was up to me. Again, this is a known brand. I got it from the guy that I bought the bike from. I'll just leave it there. Of course, I'm not going to complain about a good quality product, but again, if it was up to me, cheap side it is. So there you have, folks. Hopefully that makes sense. The whole point of the video is just to give you all the facts, all the information that you need to know to make an informed decisions, right? And then figure out, should you go out and buy that part from a budget site or just pay the extra and buy it from the known brand, right? It's entirely up to you. Definitely let me know down in the comments to see what are your opinions, what's your experience so far buying from one or the other, and see what would you recommend to other folks. So that's it for today. Give me a like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you folks on the next one. Thanks.